Hello students, welcome to the class. In the previous session we discussed about the different types of polymers, condensation polymers, addition polymers and their examples. Today we are going to discuss some of the other topics in polymers. The first one is copolymers and their classification. Classification of copolymers. What is meant by a copolymer? Polymer which contains more than one kind of monomeric units are known as copolymers. Copolymers are the polymers which contains more than one kind of monomeric units. Homopolymers means that polymer contains only one kind of monomeric units. So now we are discussing about the copolymers classification. These copolymers are divided into four types. Copolymers are divided into four types. Number one is alternate copolymers. Alternate copolymers. Number two, random copolymers. Number three, graphed copolymer. Number four, block copolymer. So copolymers are of four types: alternate copolymer, random copolymer, graphed copolymer, and block copolymer. Now I am imagining a polymer which is made of two monomeric units. One of the monomeric unit is called as A, another monomeric unit is called as B. So I am taking a copolymer which is made of two monomeric units. One of the monomeric unit is A, another monomeric unit is B. Look at this alternate copolymer. In alternate copolymer, monomeric units are connected in alternate manner. Monomeric units are connected in alternate manner. So, first monomeric unit is A. To that another monomeric unit B is connected. To that again A is connected. To that B is connected. A is connected. B is connected. So, how this one is appearing alternately? You are observing different monomeric units. So this is the alternate copolymer. Alternate copolymer contains alternate arrangement of monomeric units. Example for this one is Bohn-iron rubber and Bohn-ice rubber. So Bohn-ice rubber, take the example of Bohn-iron rubber and Bohn-ice rubber. Looking at the example of Bohn-iron rubber. So Bohn-iron rubber contains two monomeric units. First one is 1,3 butadiene. The second monomeric unit is acrylonitrile. Means vinyl cyanide. First monomer 1,3-butadiene. Second monomeric unit is vinyl cyanide. Next, look at the random copolymer. This random copolymer contains random arrangement of monomeric units. Random copolymer contains random arrangement of monomeric units. So random arrangement, there is no sequence is present in the arrangement of monomeric units. Like this, you can't find any kind of sequence in the arrangement of monomeric units. So these kind of copolymers are known as random copolymers. In random copolymers, random arrangement of monomeric units are present. Next, look at the graft copolymer. In case of graft copolymer, one of the monomeric units forms a lengthy straight chain. One of the monomeric units forms a lengthy straight chain. So here we have two monomeric units. In the one of the monomeric unit is A. This A forms a lengthy monomeric chain. To this, another monomeric units are attached as branches. Like this. So this is graft copolymer. One of the monomeric unit forms a lengthy polymeric chain. Another monomeric unit forms the branch chain. Such kind of copolymers are known as the graft copolymer. Next one is block copolymers. In case of block copolymers, monomeric units are arranged as blocks. A block of monomeric unit is present. After that, another block of monomeric unit is present. After that, another block of monomeric unit is present. They are like this. I'm writing about this thing here. So look at the arrangement of these monomeric units. This is a block of A type of monomer. This is another block of B type of monomer, and this is another block of A type of monomers. Like this, we can observe the blocks of different monomeric units. So this is about the block copolymer. So copolymers are how many types? 4 types of copolymers are there. First one is alternate copolymer. Second one is random copolymer. Third one is graft copolymer. Fourth one is block copolymer. Alternate copolymer. In case of alternate copolymers, monomeric units are arranged alternately. Random copolymers are those in which monomeric units are arranged with random fashion. You can't observe any kind of sequence in arrangement of monomeric units. Graft copolymers. In case of these graft copolymers, one of the monomeric unit arranged a lengthy chain. To this, another monomeric units are arranged as branches. Block copolymers. In case of block copolymers, a group of monomeric units forms a block. Another group of monomeric units forms a block. Like that, different monomeric units are arranged as blocks. So this is about the classification of copolymerization. Okay. Next we will discuss about the rubber. Natural rubber. Natural rubber. So what is this natural rubber? This rubber is extracted from rubber plants. Rubber is extracted from rubber plants. When insertions are made to the rubber plants, that rubber plant releases a white color liquid. That white color liquid is called latex. That latex contains negatively charged rubber particles. Latex contains negatively charged rubber particles. This rubber is an hydrocarbon. In that latex, rubber is present in colloidal form. Okay. So rubber is extracted from rubber trees. When insertions are made to the rubber trees, it releases a white color liquid which is known as latex. In that latex, rubber particles, colloidal sized rubber particles are present. These rubber particles have negative charge. So this is about the rubber. From that latex, you have to separate the rubber particles. To separating out the rubber particles from latex to that white color liquid, acids like acetic acid or formic acid is added. Then rubber particles are precipitated out. Okay. So first you have to collect the latex from the rubber trees. To that, which one is added? To that, acetic acid or formic acid is added. When acetic acid or formic acid is added to the latex, all the rubber particles are precipitated out. These rubber particles are made into solid rubber in two processes. The first process is masticating or breakdown. So I will tell you what is this breakdown or masticating. The second one is compounding. Second process is compounding. First, collect the latex. To that latex, acetic acid and formic acid is added. When acetic acid or formic acid is added, from that latex rubber particles are separated out. The separated rubber particles undergoes breaking down in the first stage. In the second stage, it undergoes compounding. Now look at what is meant by breaking down. Breaking down is nothing but masticating. Means masticating is hammering until it dies. That is the meaning of masticating. So what you have to do is a small rubber type of small granules like of solid will be precipitated out at the bottom of latex. All this solid is taken out, all these granules are taken out, and it is continuously hammered. That is called masticating, that is called breaking down. So when it is continuously hammered, what happens? You get a solid rubber. In the second stage, to this rubber, required other substances are added. Required other substances are added. Necessary other agents are added to get a rubber. So that is called compounding. The second stage is called compounding. So why these things are added, we will discuss about after 5 minutes. What is this compounding of those things? First, we will look at what is this rubber, what is the empirical problem of those things. Rubber is polymer of 2-methyl 1,3 butadiene. Rubber is a polymer of 2-methyl 1,3 butadiene. It is also known as isoprene. So rubber is a polymer of 2-methyl 1,3 butadiene. This 2-methyl 1,3 butadiene also known as the isoprene. So I am drawing the isoprene units. So this is 2-methyl 1,3 butadiene, also known as the isoprene. Okay. This isoprene, so what is the empirical formula of this one? How many carbons are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. C5. How many hydrogens? 5, 6, 7, 8. So empirical formula for rubber, we just use the empirical formula. Empirical formula. Empirical formula of rubber is C5. This is the empirical formula of rubber. Polymer of these isoprene units is rubber. In this empirical formula, in this 2-methyl 1,3 butadiene, the double bonds are present at first carbon and at the third carbon. Double bonds are at first carbon and at the third carbon. In isoprene, double bonds are at 1, 3 carbons. Double bonds are present at first carbon and at the third carbon. When these isoprene units are connected, you will get the rubber. how these things are going to connect. I am showing here. This is one isoprene unit. I am taking another isoprene unit. When these two isoprene units connected, you get a polymeric chain. These are isoprene units. In isoprene units, the double bonds are present at the first carbon and third carbon. First, this pi bond going to broken down. When pi bonds broken down, you will get unpaired electrons like this. This pi bond also going to broken down. Again, you get the unpaired electron. Here the pi bond is broken down. You get unpaired electron. Here the pi bond is broken down. You get unpaired. This unpaired electron of this isoprene unit going to connect with this unpaired electron of another isoprene unit. Unpaired electron of this isoprene unit is going to connect with unpaired electron of another isoprene unit. These two unpaired electrons going to connect to give you another one. And this unpaired electron connect to another one. So CH2, CH3, CH, double bond, sorry, double bond is broken down and the double bond is not CH2, one of the isoprene unit. This unpaired electron going to connect with this unpaired electron. Another isoprene unit I am writing. CH2, this CH2, again CH3, this one. These two unpaired electrons connect and make a bond, so you will get a double bond. This is CH and this one is CH2, unpaired. This unpaired electron will give you a bond. Here are unpaired electron will give you another. So look at this, look at here. This is one isoprene unit. This is the another isoprene. So in rubber, which units are repeating? Isoprene units are repeating. So rubber is a polymer of isoprene. What is isoprene? 2-methyl 1,3-butadiene is called isoprene. They will ask you some questions about this. In rubber, what is the position of double bond? In rubber, what is the position of double bonds? Look at here, this is first carbon, this is one isoprene unit. To this isoprene unit, I am giving numbers 1, 2, 3. So where this double bond is present? Double bond is present between second and third carbon. Double bond is present between second and third carbon. This is another isoprene unit. Here also the double bond is present between second and third. So where the linkages are taking place? These isoprene units are connected through a 1,4 linkage. Isoprene units are connected through 1,4 linkage. This is first carbon and this one is the fourth carbon. So isoprene units are connected through 1,4 linkage, and in isoprene, in rubber, the double bond is present between second and third carbon. This is about the rubber. Like this, rubber is formed. So what is rubber? Rubber is a polymer of isoprene units. In isoprene, what is the position of double bond? 1 and 3 carbon atoms. In rubber, what is the position of double bond? 2 and 3 carbon atoms. How these isoprene units are going to connect? They connect with the 1 and 4 carbon atoms. First carbon of one of the hydrogen is going to connect with the fourth carbon of another isoprene. This kind of linkage is called head to tail linkage. This kind of linkage is called the head to tail linkage. So this is head and this is tail. So in rubber, isoprene units are connected with 1 and 4 bonding or head to tail linkage. Now look at the stereochemistry of these isoprene. In rubber, all these isoprene units are in cis configuration. In rubber, isoprene units are in cis configuration. Okay, so I am showing the cis configuration of these isoprene units. Look at here. This CH2, CH3, C, CH2, C, CH3, double bond to this carbon, now the hydrogen and CH2. Now look at here. I am writing about this one. C to this CH3, CH2. Double bond, CH, single bond, CH2, CH single bond, CH2. Now here what happens? This is the fourth carbon. This is the first carbon of another isoprene. So these CH2 groups going to connect. The CH2 groups going to connect. Okay? Look at the configuration. Two similar groups are present at the same site, CH2, CH2. Here also two similar groups are present at the same site, CH2, CH2. So when similar groups are present at the same site, then such kind of configurations are known as the cis configuration. So this is a cis configuration. So this is cis configuration. So in isoprene units are in cis configuration. Okay, isoprene units are in the cis configuration. Like this, you get a lengthy isoprene units. Why this type of arrangement is there in isoprene units? In rubber. Due to reduce the repulsive forces, the isoprene units are in cis configuration. Again, in rubber, all these cis configured isoprene units, are in coiled form. All these cis configuration isoprene units are in which form? Coiled form. All these units are coiled like this. All these isoprene units are coiled like this. Due to this coiled arrangement, we can observe the elasticity of rubber. If they are simply like this, a straight chain, it does not have any elastic nature. It simply becomes a fiber. But rubber have elastic nature. Why rubber have elastic nature? Due to the coiled arrangement of this cis configuration isoprene units. So this is about the structure of rubber. Okay, I will tell you another point. So in rubber, isoprene units are in which configuration? Cis configuration. There is a rubber is there in which the isoprene units are present in trans configuration. Such kind of rubbers are known as gutta percha. Trans configuration isomers of isoprene units or simply trans configuration rubber is called gutta percha. It does not have the elastic nature. It has some bad qualities. Okay, it is not commercially that much of. Okay, cis configuration one is very useful. I will tell you once again. Empirical formula of rubber is C5H8. Rubber contains which units? 2-methyl-1,3 isoprene units. In rubber, these isoprene units contains these isoprene units contains the double bonds at 1 and 3 carbon atoms. When isoprene units undergoes polymerization, the double bonds shift to the in between 2 and 3 carbon atoms. In rubber, isoprene units are bonded with head and tail linkage, simply 1 and 4 linkage. In rubber, all these isoprene units are in cis configuration. Again, in cis configuration, they comes into a coiled form. Trans configuration rubber also is there, which is known as gutta percha. So this is about the. So after getting this rubber, this is about the structure of rubber. This rubber is not commercially useful because the rubber which is extracted from natural sources have bad qualities. The rubber which is extracted from the natural sources have the bad qualities. What are those bad qualities? The rubber which is extracted from the natural sources, that rubber absorbs more amount of water. So it is a good absorber of water. It easily involves in chemical reactions. It absorbs the water, it easily involves in chemical reactions. On cooling it becomes brittle. On heating it becomes smooth. It melts down. So on heating it becomes smooth. On cooling it becomes brittle. It absorbs more amount of water. It easily undergoes the chemical reactions. So all these are the bad qualities of rubber. So what we have to do? We made this rubber. So if you remove all these bad qualities, it become commercially useful to us. For that, vulcanization process is used. What is meant by vulcanization? Vulcanization process is the one in which to the raw rubber sulfur is added and heated in presence of zinc oxide and zinc stearate. Due to this heating, side linkages are formed between the rubber chains. Due to that, we get a rubber which does not absorb the water, which does not participate in the chemical reactions, which easily does not become brittle on cooling, which does not going to melt down on heating. This process is called vulcanization. Simply we can say like this. What is vulcanization? Vulcanization is the process in which raw rubber is heated with sulfur in presence of zinc oxide and zinc stearate. This process is known as the vulcanization. Due to vulcanization, rubber become stiff, it loses its chemical reactivity, it loses its water absorbing capacity, and it become abrasive resistant, Okay, this is about the vulcanization. What happens during vulcanization process? During vulcanization process, side links are formed between the allylic methylene groups. So in rubber we can see the polymeric chains like this. Here we can see the double bond. So this is rubber. Drawing another unit, CH2C, CH3 double bond, CH, CH2, CH2, CH3. This is the allyl carbon. This allyl carbon of two rubber stride chains are connected by disulfide bondings. So like this. Disulfide bondings are formed between the rubber stride chains. Due to these bondings, rubber become hard. Rubber get more elastic nature. Rubber loses its water absorbing capacity. Rubber become resistant to oxidation, resistant to chemical reactions. Okay. So this is about vulcanization of rubber. So when vulcanization takes place, what happens? We already told that by the addition of sulfur to the rubber, these stride chains are bonded with sulfur bondage, disulfide bondings. Due to these sulfur bondings, rubber becomes stiff. By the addition of more amount of sulfur, these rubber become somewhat more hard. 5% sulfur containing rubber is used in the manufacturing of tires. 5% sulfur containing rubber is used in the manufacturing of tires. 30% sulfur containing rubber is used in the manufacturing of batteries. 50% sulfur containing rubber is used in the manufacturing of ebonite sticks. Okay, so 5% sulfur containing rubber is used in the manufacturing of rubber tires. 30% sulfur containing rubber is used in the manufacturing of battery cases. You know the battery case. Battery case means this cars and buses have the batteries. That battery, inside the battery, the sulfuric acid is present. when you observe the battery case, it is very hard. So those battery cases are manufactured by this rubber, which contains 30% of sulfur. 50% sulfur containing rubber is used in the manufacturing of ebonite sticks. Okay, this is about the rubber. Okay, students, we have to begin another topic. We will continue this one on the next day. Okay, for this session it is enough. We will meet on next day. Thank you.